Okay, so what should we do to reduce delinquency? Delinquency reduction strategies should take into account research on causes of control and delinquency, be just and fair, be within our means, and be acceptable to most people in society. What's strongly advocated by the federal government is more emphasis on prevention and rehabilitation, holding juveniles accountable for their behavior, and protecting the community from serious, violent, dangerous juvenile offenders. So why would we implement more prevention and rehabilitation? Well, it makes sense to prevent individuals from becoming delinquent and to reform those who are. We know that most programs work or show promise of success, and most are cost effective. And there is strong support for such programs. Things we should do in order to implement these programs. Well, we got to get the community on board. We should try to get community leaders together and get some people together for implementing and running programs. That team should identify community problems that contribute to delinquency and what resources might be able to be used to address that. That team should be designing and implementing a comprehensive approach and then develop how we're going to deliver those things. And then the team would also assume responsibility for evaluating the approach and seeing how it's working. Federal government provides assistance for this. They provide technical assistance, they have funding sources, and they can help facilitate communication with other teams doing similar work. Comprehensive approaches, first of all, they differ from community to community but share certain common features. They're developed in a range of different areas, involve broad segments of the community, target those at highest risk, and make special efforts to target those serious high-rate chronic offenders. Communities often have problems carrying these out, and few communities that implement strategies have some success at reducing delinquency. Why should we hold juveniles accountable for their behavior? Well, low direct control is a cause of delinquency. Older juveniles have some responsibility for their behavior, and there is strong public and political support for this. So the juvenile justice system does sanction, but not in an efficient manner. So we want to increase the certainty of punishment, teach parents, teachers, and others how to better exercise direct control. We can make better efforts, so we can have police crackdowns, community policing, and more resources for juvenile courts and corrections. And then employ a system of graduated sanctions. So as your behavior is more problematic or more serious, then the sanctions become more serious as well. We want to punish in a way that minimizes the negative effects and use community-based punishments whenever possible. We also want to make sure we rebuild those ties between the offenders and the larger community. But we also need to protect the community from dangerous offenders. Currently, we institutionalize more kids than is necessary. It's better to use small-scale institutions that emphasize treatment. Juveniles then are less likely to be harmed by their confinement and more likely to be rehabilitated.